Hi, I'm Elise and welcome to Which Way? Today's review, the film dubbed a supernatural psychological thriller with elements of horror, The Witch, a New England folktale. The Witch was Robert Eggers' directorial feature film debut. It stars Ralph Ineson and Kate Dickie as parents William and Catherine, Harvey Scrimshaw as eldest son Caleb, and newcomer Anya Taylor-Joy as their eldest daughter, Thomasin. Also a few kids and a short appearance of Julian Richings. Oh, hi Death! When God is gone and the devil takes hold. The film was a hit at its Sundance premiere and led to a lot of hype for its release in cinemas. Based in New England in 1630, it follows a family of 6. Excommunicated from their church, they head out into the wilderness to make a living on their own. Skip forward about a year, and bordering the woods, their homestead is slowly being established. And there is a 7th family member, baby Samuel. A series of tragic events soon occur, starting with the disappearance of Sam, and eventually, accusations of witchcraft abound. The acting in this film is first-rate. Ineson and Dickie have both had witchy roles in the past. Ineson as Amicus Carrow in the Harry Potter films, and Dickie as Mary in 2010's Outcast. She is an amazingly creepy actress. I love her for that. Robert Eggers was fascinated with witches, himself growing up in New England, and he really delved into the history. He himself had recurring nightmares as a child of witches and really draws upon that to get to you. He even took inspiration for the spelling of the title from works of the era of the witch craze, such as this pamphlet from 1643 about the Witch of Newbury. The horrors of the witch trials from the late 14th century to the early 18th century put an estimated 40,000 to 60,000 or even more women, men and children to death based off other people's fears and beliefs. But what if these creatures of the night were actually real? That's where this film comes in. I'm going to be looking into the witch facts and see what these witches could actually do. Witches were accused of many horrible acts as agents of the devil. The first one in this film, stealing an unbaptized babe, the young baby Sam. Some witches apparently offered children to the devil, but in this case, the witch needed the baby as an ingredient. This is the first good look at the witch, and I instantly got reminded of the folklore witch Baba Yaga, who flies around in a mortar and pestle, much like this one. Those aren't berries. Baby fat was apparently one of the ingredients required to create a flying ointment, as well as specific herbs, and depending on the method, the witch would then smear herself and/or a broomstick, which would then grant them the ability to fly. In the despicable work of Heinrich Kramer, the Malleus Maleficarum, or the Witch's Hammer, from 1486, it is written that they take the unguent, which, as we have said, they make at the devil's instruction from the limbs of children, particularly of those whom they have killed before baptism, and anoint with it a chair or a broomstick, whereupon they are immediately carried up into the air, either by day or by night, and either visibly or, if they wish, invisibly. Witches would fly over long distances using this method, or according to the Compendium Maleficarum, or Witch's Book, by Francesco Guazzo from 1608. At times they are mounted upon an ox or a goat or a dog and are so carried to their feast, and yet again they go on foot when the place is not far distant. This feast, a witch's sabbat, where covens would convene with the devil, who is often present in the form of a goat or a dog. They would often dance naked around a bonfire and maybe had a tumble with the devil in the process. Eggers said he had recurring nightmares about a witch, and he is definitely drawn from those to create this character. She is disturbing, to say the least. Old widowers who lived alone or unmarried women were seen as easy targets for accusations, or, as it were, the lure of the devil. This witch appears as both, as when Caleb comes across a hut in the woods, a beautiful maiden emerges. She lures him to her, but we see the glamour soon fades, and this is the same old witch. Glamours could be used to change the form of a witch, even into that of a beast, so perhaps that's the explanation for the hair we see throughout the film before unfortunate events. In the stage play The Late Lancashire Witch from 1634 by Hayward and Brom, witches take shape of hares to torment men during a hunt. And the accused witch Isabel Gowdy confessed to being a hare witch with the ability to transform herself into a hare. Another possibility for the hare, that it's her familiar, lesser demons that would take the shape of animals to assist witches with their evil deeds. It was also said that familiars were fed from their witch's breast, taking favour in place of their children. Caleb's strange illness leads his mother Catherine to believe he was bewitched.
Does this not look like witchcraft?
Sudden illnesses were often blamed on witches to explain lack of prior symptoms, that or possession. The twins also appeared to be possessed, though perhaps they were just faking it to play to their cause, accusing their sister of witchcraft.
They conspire against me.
Alison is a witch!
Fake possessions were a good way to falsely accuse your neighbour of witchcraft to get them out of the picture. Witches could also apparently cause illness in farm animals, drying up their milk, or in this case turning it to blood, and were blamed for the failure of crops. Devils were often thought to take form of beasts, and throughout the film the twins sing songs and whisper to the goat Black Phillip as if they were telling him things.
Black Phillip, how goes out his head? Black Phillip, tonight Queen is wed.
Some of the lyrics and casting of Charlie as Black Phillip were potentially inspired by Goya's 1798 painting Witch's Sabbath, which indeed the goat has a crown growing about his head and the women surrounding are offering up the aforementioned infants. What gives these witches the want for sowing discord? Signing the devil's book or making a pact with him or lesser demons. Only then can one truly become a witch. This would lead these witches to have imbued power, gaining their abilities after making this pact. There is an actual example of an alleged written pact between the devil and a French Catholic priest, one Urbain Grandier, who signed a pact with Satan himself as well as the demons Beelzebub, Astaroth, Elimi, and Leviathan. You'd think you wouldn't leave something like that lying around. Urbain Grandier was burned at the stake in 1634 after his supposed involvement in the Loudun possessions. According to confessions during the Salem witch trials, a potential witch had to sign their name using pen and ink or blood, or if illiterate, make their mark in the devil's book, thus granting him their soul in exchange for power. For examiners during these witch trials, it was an important part of the examination to get a witch to confess to signing the devil's book and to telling them who else had signed this book. During my research, I also came across this website for the Satanic Temple. No need for pen and ink here, signing the devil's book is just a click away. Sometimes lesser demons or other witches would come forward to make the deal if the thought of seeing Satan himself would scare potential witches off, though if he really wanted that witch, the devil himself would appear. He would take the appearance of a handsome man, though according to folklore would be unable to change his cloven foot or feet. There is mention of this in The Political History of the Devil from 1726 by Daniel Defoe. He mentions its common folklore knowledge, though ascertains the devil would be able to take any shape he chooses. I love the effort Eggers put into this film, so it gets marks for history, it's packed full of lore, and I guess it gets marks for the craft too. Ugh. This movie is a detailed view into a realised Puritan nightmare. It slowly builds tension throughout and leaves the ending open to interpretation. I'll let you ask your own questions there. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. You can find The Witch in the links below and links to my socials where I'll post some extra content. As always, thanks for watching and make sure you like and subscribe to keep up to date on The Witch Way.